Welcome, everyone. We're so excited that everybody is here and we're happy to see everybody again. We're going to go ahead and get started with our 3Ps presentation: pre-enroll, pre-assign, prepay. It's probably going to be a pretty short presentation because there's a lot of information that we don't have that's definite right now, but at least we can kind of get you started on some contact points and things that you need to know in order to pre-enroll. So we're going to start with Ron.
Yay.
And take it away.
Okay. One of the most important things that we like to stress is that you have contact with your academic advisor. We can assist you. We can talk with you and look over your degree checklist and see what classes you need to take and kind of map out where you are now and where you need to be in the next semester and the next coming year. Um, but ultimately, you need to okay that through your academic advisor. So we recommend that you start setting up meeting times with them now. And I know that it's kind of an issue right now setting up meetings and stuff with advisors, with instructors, because it's like I was saying, we've got so much going on campus. Faculty, all the faculty that were in Ross Hall are moving out as well. And so the best thing is to probably email them. You can CC us on your emails and try to set up a time to meet with them on the phone, um, or however you've been communicating with them, to let them know that what courses you're interested in taking. Um, One of the things that I kind of jumped down to the next to the last one is the degree checklist can be found on the SSC Blackboard. But also, if you go on the Haskell website and you go all the way down to the bottom in the black area, you'll see course catalog. And you can look up the degree that program that you're interested in and see um, they have a roadmap of what courses you should be taking and what semester you should be taking them, and also a degree checklist. Now, some of you may have already done this process and you already know what you're doing, but it's good to keep a copy so that you know where you're at. Your advisor should have a copy of your degree checklist, but it's good for you to have one too, so that you can every semester just look at it and say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I need. And sometimes, especially if you're already in a 4-year degree program, you want to map it out so that um, some classes may not be offered every semester or even every year. So you have to kind of map out when you can take the courses. And so, you know, that's very important. It's very key for you to be able to meet with your academic advisor and talk about those things. Any concerns you have about classes that maybe you haven't had that you need in order to prerequisites for other courses later on in your program. So just double check everything, go through your degree checklist, see where you are, because ultimately what happens is when it comes time for you to graduate, you may think in your mind, I think I took that, and you're not sure, but the registrar's office will double check everything. And if there's something that you're missing, you're going to have to go back and take that. And so, we don't want that to happen. We want you to have a plan so that when you're ready to graduate, you know the date and the year, I mean, the semester when you plan to graduate. Um, if you have any business holds, you'll need to be cleared with the student bank. You can contact them probably through email again. I don't know that they have hours over there yet, um, but it's one of the things we always promote is that this is your education, so you need to take charge and take control of these things and stay on top of them so that there are no surprises that pop up as you go through each semester. Um, the course schedules. maybe delayed up to 2 weeks. And I'm not sure where that one came from. Um, maybe Lori or Laura can talk about that one, the delay on the schedules.
Yeah, so it's just, I heard one of the deans mention it, that it may be delayed for 2 weeks before it's posted. So be ready for those pre-enrollment dates to change, but you can still absolutely meet with your advisor to see which areas of classes you need, but you may not see some of the more specific classes until a little bit later than expected. So just be stalker checking your email.
Yes. Are there any questions? Anyone have any questions? Okay, I think we'll move on to pre-assigned for housing.
So just one thing that I wanted to mention too about the course schedules is sometimes when they come out with the course schedule, it changes. Like I know that the registrar has indicated as the enrollment continues that it's updated sometimes on a weekly basis. I know they've done up to 10 updates before the end of enrollment. So don't get alarmed if you don't see your class initially offered that you're looking for. It could be added at a later time. So those are kind of one of those situations where we just really have to have patience. We normally would have a schedule of when you will enroll, and it goes by class. So the seniors enroll first if you're senior status. And then the juniors will enroll next, and then sophomores and freshmen. And so what that means is that it will open on your student portal. And so when you sign into your student portal, this time period for seniors, let's say, will be open for you to go ahead and select your courses and enroll. So that process hasn't changed. You'll still self-enroll through the student portal. So if you have any questions about that, or you're having problems or technical difficulties about that, after the presentation, I'll kind of show you some resources on our webpage that you can use to work through that process. We don't know anything about housing right now or what's going to happen. I know Dion was sharing with us earlier that one of his professors told him that we would be in person or sort of a hybrid model for next semester, or for the fall, but we don't have any word on that yet. So we don't have any official word on what's happening. I know that I'm sure that's the goal that the university is working toward, to get everybody back onto campus and in person. So once those announcements are made, if it involves students coming back to campus, we will announce that on our social media. Laura at SSC will be announcing that on her social media too. You'll probably get something in your email, and we will circle back and kind of talk about what those things, those forms or things that you need in order to make sure that you're pre-assigned for housing. We have some other Zoom things, Zoom engagements coming up over the next couple of weeks. And so if those announcements come out in the meantime, we can get together and talk about that. We'll schedule something to talk about that more in detail. I know we have a student talking circle coming up in a couple of weeks, and that's usually time where we just get students together and they ask questions, and we just talk about what kinds of issues that they're going through. So that might be an opportunity for us to discuss that in a little bit more detail. And so you can prepay your fees once you're enrolled, or after, or as a part of that enrollment process. And so you can pay those fees online. If you go to haskell.edu, there's a pay online button, and then it says fines and fees for campus fees. And then you just follow the pay instructions. You'll want to, in the comments section, leave what semester that you're paying for, whether it's summer or fall. So we do know that there are going to be classes offered for summer. And so you're going to be enrolling in both those semesters in this pre-enrollment time period. You can also do a deferred fee payment. In other words, if you're eligible for Pell and you know that that's coming, then they're going to just take the fees out of your Pell grant. They do offer a 10-week payment plan, which you can utilize in order to pay your fees if you're not Pell eligible, or if you need to set up some sort of payment plan. And you would do that by contacting the bursar. And so Laura has put the email to the bursar in the chat. And so that is the email that you'll utilize when you're communicating about your fees or any fines that you have to clear up to get your business hold satisfied. So you can go into the student portal and you should be able to look and see if you have a business hold. If you're confused about that, get with Ron or I or Laura, and we can look and see if you have a business hold. If your student portal does say that you have a business hold, then email the bursar and say, hey, I cannot enroll. It says I have a business hold. What do I do? And then you'll get instructions from the bursar on what steps that need to be taken in order for you to be able to access enrollment in your student portal. So Laura just alerted in the chat that the fall 2020 fee is listed. So if you want to know the fee amount for the summer, you can email Haskell administration. And I don't know if they have those fees worked out yet. I mean, like, we're kind of in this holding pattern right now to wait to decide for the administration to decide how we're moving forward with future semesters, except for the summer. We do know that the summer semester is going to be fully online.
One of the things to remember in all of this is that there's a lot of work going on campus, and so the internet might be spotty. So if you're online trying to pre-enroll or trying to prepay, it may go down for a bit, but you just keep trying again, because it seems like every day there's a little bit of time in the day that it goes out and you're just out. So just, don't get frustrated. Just realize that there's a lot of things they're working on campus.
And you all can also just reach out to Ron or I or Laura, just shoot us an email and say, hey, this is what's happening. And we can help you troubleshoot any issues that you have. And so the university released this announcement of the bursar, who is Jennifer Jumbo, just so you can kind of get a visual. We also reposted this on our Facebook page, that the things that you would contact the bursar's office for, that's listed here. And so one of those things is the business hold and to also prepay your fees. So I don't know if Yosh made it on the call, the meeting. Oh, no, there she is. I see you. Did you want to share any other updates or anything right now, Yosh?
I think you guys did a really great job of explaining, unless students have questions. Just an update. I do know that the university, and because of the leadership changing, there's a lot of new things that they're trying to roll out for the university. And so that's also why there's some things that we're unclear of. So they're wanting to move from the CAM system to another system that should be easier for students to access and be able to maneuver when it comes to registering for classes, signing up for your dorms. And so it would be easier and it would be online for you. And so that's something that's also going to be coming through. They're going to be changing, I believe, from Blackboard to another type of program as well. And so those are some of the things that are happening. We're looking forward to those things. Unfortunately, because of all of these things that are up in the air with different projects, it's hard for us to get a definite answer. And so we do apologize for that. So hopefully the information, and thank you guys again, Ron, Lori, and Laura, for sharing all this information. Hopefully this is going to be helpful for you guys. And then if you guys have any questions, definitely let us know.
Thanks, Yosh. I'm going to share my screen again and then just show you some things that you can use that will help you navigate the enrollment process. So this is our website. I'm sure that many of you have been there before, but we have this virtual student resources page. So there's a lot of things on this page that can kind of help you navigate through some of these issues that we've talked about here today. The post for Jennifer Jumbo, the information for the bursar is posted on here. Also, we have the no credit policy. I know if you're a continuing student, you have familiarity with that policy. They've had it for the last 3 semesters, but you can read about that in more detail here. And then there's a link that you can click on over to the side that will take you to the full document. And then there's also the Student Emergency Assistance Program. If you have an emergency and you need some sort of funding, you can contact Manny King about that resource for funding. And there's just some other things on here as well. This is a Resources for Success. It's a 1-page document. And you can get that document by clicking on this link over to the right that tells you how to do just about anything that you need to do that's Haskell related. So if you have technology issues, problems with course registration, financial aid, within this document, you should be able to find an answer to just about anything that you need. There's even a list of community resources that are available to you in there. So, and of course, you can always reach out to someone in person, Ron or I or Laura, if you need help with any of that stuff. And so just to kind of moving forward to show you our calendar and what are some of the things that we have going on in the future. We've got a major speaker series or major exploration speaker series speaker coming next week. And then when you're talking to your advisor, they should have a copy of your updated degree checklist when they're discussing your course plan or your course schedule with you. And so if you could get a copy of that from them and then provide it to us, your retention specialist, either Ron or I, that would be really helpful for us. We like to keep track of, I guess, or make sure that you and your retention specialist have the same document that you're working off of in order to help you plan out your course schedules. And so the grant aid application is going to be available on the 30th. And that is some funding that we have if you're a Trio participant that we'll ask you to fill out. And then that'll be open until the 9th of April. And so that will be due on the 9th of April. We have $30,000 that we give out each spring for our Trio students. So you want to be sure and get in on that and get that application. And then the 31st is the student talking circle that I talked about. Yes.
Let me jump in really quick since you're on grant aid. So we have been working with the foundation and we've actually have some funding that is going to be coming available in the form of grant aid for students who don't qualify for Pell. And so we will have a little bit of funding for those students who are not eligible to get Pell, to be able to get some of this need as well. So we will be kind of modifying that application, but that has just became available just actually this week. So yeah, so okay, awesome. That was all I wanted to share. Yeah, so for those students who, yes, for students who do, everything and then they don't meet the remaining need, this will, hopefully be helpful for those students as well. Because we know all of you guys work really hard. And so we want to make sure that we're trying to, get some funding for you guys to continue to be successful.
That's awesome. What a cool announcement. So that's really all I have in the way of that. But I also have some really great news too. I know last semester we had a donor from the foundation who generously donated some computers for students. And so I spoke with this donor yesterday, and they want to put a call out again for any students that need a computer. So if you need a computer, email Ron, I, or Laura, and let us know. If you, it can be for any reason. If your computer's not, up to speed and you can't get a good connection, just let us know and we will put your name on the list, and hopefully those can be sent out very soon. So Laura, I'm sure that's probably news to you, but I just found this out yesterday and I was going to send you an email. I'm so sorry that I didn't let you know that, but yes. So anybody, if you have any friends that are doing assignments on their phone or an iPad and really could use a laptop, especially if business students who need a laptop, just let us know and we will put your name on the list. Does anybody have any questions about any of that information that we covered, or do you have general questions about anything that we might be able to help you with today? Laura, would you like to add anything?
I guess just the main thing is don't panic about the course listing. It's a little bit typical that we get those late course ads and all that thing, but between the four of us, if there's a class added to the list, we will make you very aware of that or post an updated course listing. So we stock those course listings right as they're coming out onto the system. And check and see if feel at your advisor if you haven't met them before. See if they're responsive. You absolutely have the ability to change advisors if you'd like, and that would be through using the change of major and advisor form. Let me see if I can, yeah, I've still got it pulled up here. So let's say you have a favorite instructor, as long as they're a full-time instructor and they're accepting new advisees, preferably if they're within your program, if you're in a 4-year program too, you can change to them instead of who you might have just been randomly selected for. So if they're responsive, like they respond within 72 hours and they're willing to help you out with your degree checklist and explaining that, that's a sign of a really good advisor. If they never write back, or if they try to send you to a different department to do your degree checklist, if it seems like they don't have time for you, that might be a sign that there might be an advisor that's a better fit who can help you graduate whenever you'd like to graduate. Well, not whenever you'd like, but based on your classes and how well you do in them, your graduation date that you would like. So, and if you have questions about who's an advisor, who's not, you can contact any of us and we'll let you know. Also on the Success Center Blackboard page, under degree programs, you can click on the 4-year and 2-year degree programs after you click on just the degree programs. And I actually have it listed who's an advisor for each program, as well as who's a general advisor if it's humanities. So that's, if you're too shy to reach out to us, which I hope nobody is, but you could do it that way too. I'm one of those people who I make my boyfriend order the pizza. I order online if I have to. The only reason I'll talk is if it has to do with students. So otherwise, it's not really my personality. And unless I'm singing in front of a mariachi, that's a little bit different. But we're all readily available, willing to help you out.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. Jared, do you have a question?
Oh, I see a little hand.
Yeah, I have two. One is kind of adjacent and one's a different topic. You brought up the credit, no credit. And I had heard there's potentially some changes because there were some misunderstandings with the previous credit, no credit options. And that's why the semesters look different. Is there a time when we're supposed to get the final like know-how on credit, no credit?
Well, the only thing that I have to go on is the memo that they released. And I assume that they also released that to all the students. I know that there was some confusion initially when it was released about some of the courses that were not eligible for credit, no credit, which was not the case in previous semesters. So they actually have a list of courses that aren't eligible for credit, no credit. A lot of the gen eds are not on the list. So, which is, I mean, I know in my experience the students that I advise, math is the one. General biology, those kinds of things are the ones that students would really prefer to take in person, and they get caught up in the online and decide or figure out that they just, they would rather take a credit, no credit, and then try to redo it the next semester if they don't get a good result. But that's the only change that I know. And I think now that you can select credit, no credit um, after the grades come in, or like after, like up until or past the past finals. Is that right, Laura?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I guess what I was operating on is that it seemed like the credit, no credit, because the new memo didn't have a grade, whether it was D or above or C or above,
Oh,
that Melanie Daniel had assumed it was D, and that we don't have any clarity on whether that's the case or not. Just because that wasn't part of it. So I didn't know if she had plans, because she hasn't responded to emails on it, to clarify what the actual grade is that counts.
That did come up for discussion, and from what I heard is there's a next step. They wanted to get the memo out there, but I believe the faculty senate executive folks, I'm not sure what their for real title is, but there's 3 folks who are on faculty senate. That's Judy Gipp, Jimmy Beeson, and Randall McCoy. I believe that based on the memo, they've been asked to draft up an actual policy. And so I think that they're going to try to make those clarifications, because we weren't completely certain, because I know in reading it, I assumed it was C and above, whereas I found out it was D and above, and that's why there's all those classes on there. So different faculty, I think, have been giving their input if they prefer the C or D, or if they prefer not having a credit, no credit, but luckily that was the minority. So that I was not on that side. So yeah, so stay tuned. You might even be able to contact faculty senate to see if that's, or confirm that that's part of the process, because I do believe it is. And I think that faculty senate might be meet as a whole, maybe meeting tomorrow. I'll have
Okay.
to double check my calendar.
So my other off-topic question, since it's tax season, this is the first year that I don't have like an income required to fill out my taxes. And that was something I've discussed with like a tax professional, but I guess I don't know. And in thinking of like grad school, do you just have to fill it out even if you don't have like a reportable income, just so you can apply for or fill out the FAFSA? That's territory I don't know much about.
Is
I
this
don't
a stump the staff question?
Right.
I
I
just
think
don't
it is
know
recommended that you do.
that you
I
do
just-
fill out taxes
Yeah,
and
it's recommended because that way it leaves that paper trail so you can proof of income and all that.
Mhm. And I
okay,
think you do
proof
have to
of
do
no
your
income.
taxes because it helps with adding up, I think, how they would calculate your remaining need to or something.
Yeah.
So, and that also would go with some scholarships that you have to do FAFSA that's required for. And so that, yeah.
So do you know what grad school program that you're going into, Jared?
I think one at KU, I'm gonna go, and I don't know if you guys are talking about it or know about it, because I just found out today that KU has an Indigenous Studies thing for high school students to go to tomorrow.
Mm.
Let's see.
Yes,
Um,
I got the date
for the-
wrong. I was advertising
Okay.
it for last Thursday. Hope nobody
Okay,
signed
yeah.
on to that.
So yeah, I'm interested in going to that and doing a journalism thing because somebody from my tribal community is now a journalism professor there, and
I
that
heard
like
this.
peer-to-peer stewardship. And I actually got to meet her today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the first couple of rounds that they had the ISP program at KU, I went to the Zooms, and actually no students came, but we had the most wonderful conversation. They did have students from KU that were in the ISP program. And so it was almost like a panel discussion with the students, and it was so, so good and so informative. But they did talk about the gal from your tribe that is a professor now in the J school over there. But this is what I would do if I were you. I would ask Brandy on the Zoom tomorrow if she can hook you up with somebody in financial aid at KU, or if you can, or if she can find out what might be required of you for your FAFSA. I don't know for sure if you, because I know when you fill out the FAFSA, if you don't have any taxable income, that you can add that instead of the IRS tool. But I don't know how that is going to relate to how, I mean, things work a little bit differently there. So I'm not sure how that's going to relate, but I'll tell you right now, no matter what you do at KU or what program that you get in at KU, Brandy will help you do everything. So, and she's the one that organized, she'll probably be the host of the call. So that's what I would recommend. What was I going to say? Is there a faculty senate president?
So I'm not sure if there's an actual president. I think there's just those three lead people.
Okay.
I can tell you that in the meetings, it's usually Judy Gipp who leads the conversations,
Okay.
but I don't know that she's actually a president.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, perhaps you could email one of them to get clarity on that, Jared. Are you going to run an article about it?
Well, I was going to post about the credit, no credit thing, but I had the questions because it seemed like it was alluding to D or above, like
Mhm.
I mean,
other
that's an
pass
important,
fail.
yeah, that's an
And
important.
so I was emailing to get that clarity before I posted because I figured people would have questions.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I heard that other people brought those up and that it's a ongoing discussion. So I haven't posted anything because there isn't a final answer.
Cool, cool. Well, we'll be watching for your post then, so we'll know too. Because that's where we get our information from Facebook and the Indian Leader. Anyway, so does anybody else have any questions or anything about that? We'll try to keep you posted. And again, we have that student talking circle on the 30th. So if we have more information there, then we will be able to relay that at that time. Everybody doing okay? How's everybody holding up? Okay.
I have a question, and maybe Yosh can answer this. Are we okay with our Zoom account for next week?
I will check with Tracy again and see if they're gonna be giving us new accounts. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So we might have a different number, right? If they give us a different account, it'd have a
yes.
different ID number. So we'll post that if any changes are made to our Zoom account.
Thank you, Ron. Good point. All right. Well, that's all I have. So we appreciate y'all. So glad that you came and to
Yes.
join us. And if you need anything, as always, be sure and let us know.